Tactical Suicide against CoB Antimeta. Antimeta.
Antimeta. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, we do have the map draft, so I can just quickly walk you through it, I guess. CoB Antimeta. Sorry, Tactical Suicide flips a coin, and they get first pick. CoB Antimeta therefore get the map pick and get the first ban of the map. They ban Towers of Doom, to which the answer is a Dragon Shire. Altrak Pass is our third map ban, and we finish those with Infernal Shrines. Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be map number 1 for this particular matchup, and I'm quite excited. Tomb of the Spider Queen is a very brawly map, a very small map, a very heavy map about continuing to soak while you just keep brawling. We have seen a map in the semifinals yesterday where one of the teams just was going in for 20 minutes, not stopping for 1 second.
We shall see. Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's a map I don't like personally, but that's okay.
Because that's a map that you can't use the hack on?
It's actually one of the Haka's best maps.
Really?
Yes, because there are bushes near every important fight point. So he's great there. And there's also a ton of minion waves where you get a lot of essence, so you get a lot of sustain from. I mean, of course, you won't get the same value out of the global ability compared to other maps. But you get a lot of value from your other tools as the Haka yourself.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm not. So, Tactical Suicide versus CoB Antimeta. Two teams that I have fought before, but two teams which I don't exactly remember what they do.
I mean, CoB is a team from the German clan, CoB. So they're all Germans there.
As indicated by the name.
Yeah, probably.
And Tactical Suicide is a team whose team description is number 1 int, number 2 question mark, number 3 kill them all, which is a playstyle that I can very much relate with. Although usually I don't kill them all, I just stop at number 1 and let's not talk about my games.
I'll think about the
There's a reason I'm a caster and not a player on those play of days. Anyway. We do have a lot of things to talk about. Antimeta, in particular, strike me as a very fluid team, a team that tries to play around their opponents, which is indicated by the number of different characters that they have banned throughout the season. Their most banned characters that was banned by them is Chromie at just 6 bans, and then there are 5 characters at 5, and then there are 4 characters at 4, so they do like to ban a lot of different heroes. They like to ban around what the enemy team wants to do and not trying to take away something that they find uncomfortable for themselves at all the times. So that's quite interesting to me.
Yeah. But get back towards one thing we talked a little bit before, the portrait synergy. So far we are in the lobby, we have all players in. So we even see it, and on the side of Tactical Suicide, we even have a little bit of portrait synergy coming in, with everyone having a cardboard emote. But it's...
So,
how do we
like
look?
more?
How
5
do we look?
different cardboard emotes or just a horde of Zerglings?
I'm not sure about this one. But I would say having 5 the same would be a little bit better. So I'm not sure.
So, while 5 Zerglings don't exactly give us much of an idea of what the players might prefer for themselves, on the right side we have a Lunara, a Mei, a Gazlo, a Karazim, and a Stukov. Mei is the most picked character on the side of Tactical Suicide. and Lunara is their second most picked character, so I'm willing to bet that they probably will try to take those two down. Gazlowe has been a very solid pick in the last few weeks after he got reworked and obviously got OP because every reworked hero is OP because that's how Blizzard balancing works. And you know, Karazim Stukov might be apparently a thing. Karazim offlane. Actually, no,
Wasn't-
Stukov offlane because that's the superior Zerg offlaner. We have talked about this already.
Wasn't Gazlowe not OP at the first place and just buffed afterwards and then was OP? And Diva was OP straight up?
Wait, they have literally just listened to us, and the guy who had the Gazlowe portrait switched to something different. So yeah, the portrait ninja definitely goes to the right side.
Yeah, he switched to the Death Wing, but not to the Carbot Death Wing, to another portrait, not Carbot portrait, which definitely destroys this portrait synergy on the side of Tactical Suicide, which gives Antimeta definitely upper hand in terms of portrait synergy. So we shall see how they will play it out in game.
On the other hand, you can say that this was a tactical suicide by tactical suicide, just inting their portrait synergy, trying to get some gains in the game department. Not sure how that will work. Maybe they will try to win through the circle meta, which is another one of those win cons that we have been talking about a lot recently, but you know, have to consider that.
Right, everyone in the lobby. Yeah, let's hope we can start soon. Alright, and we are starting into game number 1 of the second best of 3 series today. Today here on the Hero Sun channel on this beautiful Sunday in the Epic Cup.
And well, Tomb of the Spider Queen. I am already scared, are you?
I am not, but if you think Tactical Suicide will win this map number 1 exclamation mark bet A and the number of points you want to bet on them, or if you think to be Antimeta will do it exclamation mark bet B and the number of points you want to bet on them. Greymane as the first ban coming up from the side of Tactical Suicide.
And Tactical Suicide do actually like banning Greymane, as they have banned him 11 times throughout the season. But it's not just the things that Tactical Suicide hate to play against, that's also the third most picked character by Antimeta with 11 picks throughout the season, so a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B on this one.
Now we see the Chromie ban, who is surprisingly the third most picked hero on the side of Tactical Suicide, but also very strong on Tomb of Spider Queen. You see it being a small map, Chromie having a lot of really
and the
annoying
first
around
most banned hero by Antimeta with 6 bans on those. So that's a thing. Ana being taken out by Tactical Suicide on this one, and Ana is actually their second most banned character, so trying to just make sure that they don't have those very annoying characters that they hate to play against.
Fourth ban coming in now from the side of Antimeta is going to be the Lunara, which played quite a lot by the side of Tactical Suicide, so, but this leaves the May open. And the Gazlowe, and he's being picked up as the first pick.
Okay, I want the Karazim. I want the Karazim. If there's anything that those portraits told me, is that I want the Karazim. Go.
Let's
do
go.
it. I dare you, I double dare you.
Will we see some Cravo Bump shenanigans coming in, or the split push Robo Goblin? I'm not sure yet. I would assume we see Cravo Bump, but we have Antimeta. We have the next two picks coming in, picking up their tank with Diablo and the damage dealer with Tasta. And they both have a little bit of
Diablo?
synergy. So they're creating.
And Diablo is their most
Go ahead.
picked tank through. Okay, I'll let you talk first.
Diablo has some synergy with Tessa because Tessa creates walls and Diablo loves to push people into walls.
So what you're saying is that we should expect Leoric as well?
More walls!
Gonna build
Potentially.
them walls and make your opponent pay for you building the walls because you bump them into the walls and then they die. That's a Tychus ban. Is that Cho'Gall?
Potentially, you could pick Cho'Gall Anna, Cho'Gall Aura or something along those lines. So, yeah, by the way, we've on the side of Tactical Suit, we've cooldown Johanna coming in. So, very good pickups there. Johanna cooldown, tons of wave clear coming in. Sylvanas being the next ban. On the side of Tactical Suit, Antimeta wants to play Cho'Gall, they would have to pick them now. This would leave Tactical Suicide still with 2 picks open for countering him, where potentially the Carrot Sim could come in, which you just mentioned before.
Unfortunately, we do not get the May because Johanna has already been picked. But yeah, Diablo is actually the most picked character of Antimeta. We do see the Rainer and the Diva showing up as well. Rainer is our 5th most picked, and Diva is not on their top 5. So I'm going to assume Diva is just a recent acquisition.
Potentially. Some people just started playing her, had to pick her up, had to learn her, so definitely you have to be careful always now. Stukov and Hanzo will be the 2 picks on the side of Tactical Suicide. Really like their setup they already have with the side of Hanzo, Stukov cooldown, and Johanna, and Gaslow. They have just tons of CC. Like Arrow into Gravel Bomb, into Place Shield, into Horrify, into Stukov Silence. There won't be much
do be having a bunch of...
Last band now from the side of Antimeta. Brightwing.
Been a while, is it? Haven't seen that in forever. Yeah, Brightwing.
I'm really not sure about the Brightwing pick here. There's just so much CC on the side of Tactical Suicide. Yes, with Brightwing Raid you can cleanse them once every 120 seconds. But it's still a very long cooldown. Also multiple CCs overlapping, and it's only a soft cleanse, not a hard cleanse, so it only removes them. It does not give you unstoppable.
You can also try to polymorph some targets, which means that they can't use their CC abilities, which might also be a thing.
I mean, but there's like look at how much CC there is on the side of Tactical Suicide. Like, even if you polymorph as Stukov or Hanzo, there's like 4 other heroes there with a ton of CC, which will just lock you down.
Look at how much disengage is there on the right side. We do have the Walls of Tester, we do have the Emerald Wind and the Cleanse from the Brightwing to disengage for them. We also have Diva, who can do some area denial with both the boosters and with the mech explosion itself. We also have the Rainer with the Q, which might not seem like much, but sometimes actually comes up huge.
Yeah, definitely Rainer with the Q. Even though it's just a little bit of starting, but it's also a very good interruption tool. Jump into this game number 1 of this best of 3 series between Tactical Suicide. On the left, in the blue, we've got Greer. On the China, Bronze Forever, playing the Gul'dan Mixin. On Stukov, Ibims Ayaper, playing the Hanzo and Yetragosh on the Gaslow.
Battle begins in...
I believe that's Goch, because apparently that's Welsh, but I don't know what that fictional language sounds like. Anyway, on the right side for CoB Antimeta we have Shevla on Tester, Paralyzer playing as the Rainer, Safnocate on Diablo, Jach playing as the Brightwing, and the Epic E picking up the Diva, and not picking up the level 1 talent, apparently.
Oh, yeah, it was...
Oh, it's there, nice.
It's bugged again, at least for me. There we go. Okay, we have to press tab for Diva talent. Is liquid cooling, so the mobile fountain on the side of Diva. Level 1 talent. We're already in the bottom side against Gaslow. Going in, using a level 1 talent also early on, so to make sure you have high health pool. You can also tank a little bit more damage then to make sure you get the bomb charge ready early on.
Is that a lot of E stacks? Speaking of, we do have Returning Corruption on the side of Gul'dan with 6 already. So that guy is going to try and stack that one up as quickly as possible. Target practice on the side of Hanzo. You will need some time to get those rolling, but when you actually are able to do so, he literally starts shooting bricks and logs and sometimes the entire freaking tree at your opponent.
Definitely being a nuisance. Especially if you just only get one stack on everything, it's the one it's already good enough, because then you get some nice range increase, which will let you poke even outside of the range of Tasada and Rainer. Yeah,
And
we see on the
doing
side
the
of
Spider Queen.
Tesla, we see Big Game Hunter, so making sure he has a ton of turrets available for him when hitting heroes or mercenaries. So, giving him...
Doing the Spider Queen is a map where you can go for those cheeky camp plays very early on. There are a lot of ways to break the formula, and I think that CoB and Antimeta are doing this in a very interesting fashion. They go and take the Bruiser camp as quickly as possible, while we do see Tactical Suicide counteract it by taking the camp on the bot lane. Now, Drake Goh is actually moving to the Bruiser camp of his own to try and get that down and make some gains out of that imbalance that was created earlier.
This is a guest level with this level 1, so it has just so much fun taking away those camps. Especially with level 4, he just picked up Rocket Socket. He will get a shield whenever he places a turret. So it will be very easy and very fast way for him to do camps. But it also leaves him with a little bit less combo potential if he opts into the Gravel Bomb on level 10. Because of the bomb on level 1 and 4 already gives you quite some nice percentage damage and also some cast rate damage on the level 1 tier.
I mean, there are several different ways to play Gazlo, and people usually go for the big combo one. Although I would argue that the split push Gazlo can also be a thing and be a very important thing as well.
With a lot of damage coming out, D.Va loses her mech as she's in the silence and cannot let it explode. She will be down to kill so far.
Which is already done. A lot of very important stunts coming out from Gazlo, who rotates up to the mid lane to participate in this teamfight. But the game keeps going on, the rotation keeps happening, and so far we have a little bit more gems paid in by the side of Tactical Suicide, but CoB and Antimeta have 46 on their hands, so they can turn in at any moment.
Gem missing for the red team. If enough for the turn in. I would have thought them coming out there against Greer, but Mixin is there with the healing path against. Spreading them around.
Not respecting the social distancing at all, SMH.
Chef
Oh, a lot of damage put into Shadow by...
Hanzo going in, but now he gets
But
pulled
we
over,
do
but there's the
have the
jump
counter
over the
game.
wall! He gets out.
The Q-Man game does not work out for Shavla as Hanzo is able to just get away and leap out of the danger and then dodge the Q.
One thing we also saw there from Hanzo was a very nice scatter arrow hitting all 5 onto the Tassada, I believe. Really a lot of damage coming out there from him.
And let's proceed. We do have a teamfight in the mid lane brewing. We do have enough gems on both sides to just turn in, but we do have 23 on Safno Kate, which means that the red side has to have the Diablo get those gems in to turn in successfully. Meanwhile, Gruyere only has 20, so his team can actually do it without him, but they have to let either Johanna or the Gazlo to get those gems in, and unfortunately so far does not look like the opportunity will arise yet.
We're not getting his gems in after Suffocate being delayed there by Mixin on this Luko with a nice placed silence. He's trying to pay in.
That is another big hit for the blue side. That will be huge because the first wave of Webweavers is pretty much the most important one in terms of momentum break. We do see Shavler receiving a bunch of damage, but Bronze however decides to engage on Paralyzer instead, who proceeds to just walk out safely and soundly. The bot lane 2v2 does change into Stukov plus Gazlo versus D.Va plus Diablo as Joanna moves out to provide some tankiness for the rest of the team. Mixing, doing some damage to Jah and interrupting him from interrupting the Gazlo, who proceeds to turn in the remainder of the gems.
First wave will now go over towards the side of Tactical Suicide. Stukov getting engaged on. But no, he's not getting a part there. Scheffler taking a lot of damage, but there's the Brighton support coming in, making sure Tassadar stays alive.
And Brightwing saving Tester for the second time in a row. Tester a little bit too aggressive on their side, but Brightwing is trying her hardest.
Mid wall is about to be taken down now.
And the well is going down as well, which is not so well for CoB Antimeta, but is rather well for Tactical Suicide because it allows them to push through the mid lane a little bit more. Does mean that Tactical Suicide, it does mean Antimeta have to go that much faster to receive the healing. So the ball comes out on Gruyere, but Johanna just has HP and is not gonna be able to get bursted down. The Epic E shows up, and we do see the Apocalypse as the engage comes out. We do have the Dragon Arrow not hitting on anyone. And the big Gravel Bomb connects only with Paralyzer, which is very unfortunate for the blue side.
This means a lot of cooldowns now used on both sides. The blue team doesn't even have a single ultimate up right now. Whereas the red team still has Blink Heal and Micro Missile, but those are also very small ultimate cooldowns. We have from those two.
Ooh, Shovel trying to turn in, gonna receive some E-stacks instead. And Gruyere still in the bush, still trying to look for it. Oh, that's a silence! That's the medallions! That's not enough so far, and the Brightwing saves Shovel once again.
Scheffler dropping really low again. It's barely staying alive for the Brightwing teleport to come in and save him.
Jach continuing to save his teammates. Or rather the teammate, because the other guys are not receiving that much damage, because the blue side knows who to focus.
Oh, Hanzo getting engaged on. No, not much more coming in there.
He just leaps over the wall and he's safe, and there are a lot of walls on this map, so... Blue side trying to get their second wave going, but Rainer is up top. And that's enough to get the second wave for CoB Antimeta. Probably a little bit of a mistake even. I would like that wave to go to the blue side because it just means that they lose a little bit more gems. And they can't exactly push a lot. But the red side can't really push a lot either, and I would much prefer them to fort for 2 waves in a row. That would have been the play that they kinda need to rotate the momentum a little bit around. But the push comes in the bot lane. We do see the Hyperion coming out, and the wall is not looking well at all. So the push is working so far, and the focus is quite clear on the side of Antimeta.
We're now taking quite some damage. Word will definitely be gone, I would say. Now we see a lot of him on the Paralyze. This is also getting focused by the 4. Takes damage reduction, mixing with a nice killing swipe. They're pushing away the Diva Bomb. 4 circles, but there's an arrow coming in! Scheffler taking a lot of damage. The sun misses.
So close. So close. Scheffler just continues to survive against all hopes, dreams, or thoughts. We do have Rainer being traded by the Stuk of the Epic E, tries to jump on E-beams in the backline, but Hanzo proceeds to obliterate the mech and now is trying to take down the Diva proper, and succeeds at doing so with the help of a wave. That's 20 gems on the ground.
Yeah, 2-for-1 trade and a few gems lost on the red side. Really good forward side of Tactical Suicide there.
Now both teams have enough gems to turn in, but the red side is not really in a position to do so far, I think. The issue is the blue side is not exactly doing anything so far as well, but Gruyere just moving in, getting those 10 in, which is not enough to get the wave, but is enough to get them very close to getting it.
Diablo turning in his gems in the meantime. Now we also see Brightwing coming on it. I'm really surprised that the blue team did not go for a turn in.
Ooh, that silence! That interrupt is not that big as I'm making it sound, but it is quite important. And now they will just continue doing that, and that allows the rest of Tactical Suicide to just rotate up, but unfortunately a little bit too slow on the blind, which means that which means that Tester got to turn in. And Brightwing got defended well, so that's going to be a wave for the red side.
I'm really surprised the blue team did not just straight went towards the turn in after getting 2 kills down there.
I believe they wanted to take down the Bruiser camp or something like that, and I think they actually did do so, but that camp is not seen anywhere, and we do have a little bit of a teamfight brewing in the mid lane, so...
Yeah, blue wave in the mid lane is about to be taken down, top lane already gone, only bottom left.
Ooh, that Dragon
Gosh,
Arrow
stay alive.
just saving the teammate.
First fight comes on in, a lot of damage goes out. Onto the red team, Scheffler dropping really... Sesh going in with teleport, trying to save
He
him, but it's
finally
not enough.
dies!
That goes
He
down.
finally is dead. And that's actually kinda huge, because now with no tester to put damage in, the blue side can actually just start killing someone else. But the
we're
red
still
team
at the
recognizes
bottom
this
side.
and goes out.
Bottom side still, the white people pushing and looking at the keep. Already took down the wall and starts to get some serious damage on in the keep. Okay,
Man,
no.
and that was such a good save by the entirety of Tactical Suicide. Just the Dragon Arrow and the Blast Shield and the Horrified to save the
Diva was-
Gazlo. A little bit of an overkill, but you need to save your teammate.
Destroy their constructs. Reclaim the gems of my
Diva lost the mech in the meanwhile on the top side now with level 16 advantage for the blue team. We see them turning in. And they're probably looking to get some value done now.
Looking at the camp most importantly, but the camp is reset and unfortunately despawns before Gruyere gets there. Once again, a game of inches not on the side of Tactical Suicide so far. But they can get some sweet push in the top lane and can probably even try to transition that in the boss later down the line. Gazlo in the bot lane, providing some split push, which is quite important and which Antimeta probably have to counteract at some point. But not yet, not yet.
Especially Suicide, Tactical Suicide is not only 4. That is clearing the mid side for Antimeta, and then we'll have some resources to go either towards the top or the bottom side. Bottom fort has been taken down, top fort is also going to fall. Last fort on the side of CB Antimeta has now been taken down. We only leave them with their keeps left.
And speaking of keeps, one of those is gonna get start pushed now. The keep wall up top is starting to fall, and so does the keep wall down bottom. Shavla is dispatched to deal with Drake, but I'm not sure which one is actually better at this particular case, because Gazlo is being very annoying in the push. The turrets are doing a lot of work, and so does the Gazlo himself. But the web weaver up top is cleaned up, which means that the rest of the team can just go bot lane and make sure that Gazlo has to go back.
Instead of Gessler, we see on 13 also the superior schematic, increasing the turret range, so they even have a longer range now than the forts and the towers, which is really annoying because you can use them to slowly take down forts and towers.
is filled, blue team.
Ooh, no thermal lens on Tester on level 16. That's a very interesting choice.
Oh, in the meantime, we've been engaged in here. Definitely Blast Shield Horrified in as well, but there's the Brightwing teleport again coming in, making sure Tassada stays alive. Now we see him using his
Getting away
extra
with
as
this.
well. A lot of damage coming in onto Brand's however, he's dropped very low. But he will stay alive. And the red team now starting to split up, making sure they have the resources around the map split up so they can defend all 3 keeps.
Illegal, this Tester should have died like at least 7 times already.
So Piggy at the bottom starting to get into trouble. Uses the self cleanse. Will it be enough? No, it won't. He will get silenced and now clears in on the turn as well. Very well done there by Tactical Suicide. Seeing the Diva overextending a little bit on the lane, immediately going there, running in from behind and punishing her for that.
And Tactical Suicide, realizing the failure of their ways, decide to finally focus someone that's not the Tester and just killing the Diva outright. We do see the silence connecting with the Diablo. Focus the tank is usually a bad advice, but in this case it might just be the thing. Ooh, a lot of ultimates missing, however, and that means that they probably have to go back now. The Weaver is cleaned up and there's no damage done to the core. But the keep falls down, and that's quite important in of itself.
Keep taking down, now we have a constant pressure from the side of Tactical Suicide on the bottom lane of the map, which is really good for them as they now themselves some really good time. The opponent's team has to at one point react towards the bottom lane, towards the catapults, pushing in there. So the blue team has actually time to get the boss, look at stuff on the top side of the map, because the red team just takes such a long time to rotate there. But now we have level 20s being hit by the side of Tactical Suicide. They're starting the boss up here in the top. And they will fall back a little bit. They know that their opponents are around. Now they're looking into fighting that Scheffler. Getting horrified, getting feared.
And Tester dies! Tester dies! That's big, that's actually very huge. We do have the Gazlo trying to go in. Jacques forced to blink out to just continue staying alive. The Epic E tries to mount back into the mech, but the Blast Shield to interrupt it, and Joanna just slaps Diva across the face and out of this map. Jacques is going to get killed, so does the Diablo. The Diablo is just reset, but that's enough for the blue team, because now they can go and push, now they can go and take the boss. The world is their oyster. The question is, what will they do with it? I don't know what the Gazlo is doing, but that's a thing. That's a tactical suicide. See, they got it.
Question is, will they still be able to take down the core? Tacita will spawn in 10 seconds. Engage on the cooldown from the side of Diablo.
Diablo has no souls. That's probably one of the best times to just kill him outright.
Diablo nearly killed Golander in the end. Reina and Tacita are back now for the Antimeta.
70, 65, 61, 60, 59% is where the core will stand. So 2 more attempts like this and it will be enough for tactical suicide. Actually even 1 more, because at 18% of the enemy core, you will probably go and just die for the core, because it will be almost worth it. And they are just turning in right under the nose of their opponents, because they know that there's nothing you can actually do on the side of Antimeta.
They don't have gems today, they don't really have anything to do. We're getting engaged up on has the iron skin. And there is also a drop. Oh, there's shield on Tacita. There's the right wing teleport. Scheffler also popping the arc, making sure he gets the shields and tries to stay alive. Joanna being focused down. We're taking a lot of damage. She taps the fountain. Will it be enough? 200 HP gets out. Runs under the 4. Gets taken down. Diva loses her mech as well. Drops very low.
Oh, the Dragon Arrow right on top of the Rainer, who will drop down there, and now the Gazlo will just continue to run down people. E-beams joining up, gets a very thick log into Jacques, will proceed to lose a lot of HP there. And that might just be the second attempt that Tactical Suicide needed to win this game, you know?
Looking at the corner, oh no one... No one alive. Middle of the Diva with the damage reduction coming in, trying to stop it, but it's not enough. It's Brunsberg, which is shells down on the core, and it is GG as game number 1 goes over towards Tactical Suicide.
And Gazlo provides some insight into that tragic loss of the Gazlo before the first core attempt. It was in fact a tactical int, or a tactical suicide as required by branding, you know. Only 2 deaths on the side of the blue team. Actually, this game was a lot less close than it seemed at moments, because a lot of action has been happening, but the receiving side in all of those teamfights was the red team, and the highlight moment for the red team was the fact that they were able to save the tester over and over and over again until they were not.
Yeah, game number 1, Tactical Suicide, really well done by them. I really enjoyed the early game they played. Already setting them up a little bit, not losing too much on the map with their combo, which comes online on level 10. 1-0 so far. CoB Antimeta now on the verge of dropping out of the tournament. We'll now have the choice between map pick or first pick.
And well, it seems like that choice will be coming in very quickly, because we already have people typing in, and first pick is chosen by Antimeta for game number 2, which means that Tactical Suicide are going to be the one picking the map. They very much like picking Towers of Doom as their map, and that will be quite an interesting one, but unfortunately Towers of Doom have been banned in advance, so that is quite sad.
No. The Towers of Doom has been banned. This leaves us with Battlefield of Eternity, Braxis Holdout, Cursed Hollow, Sky Temple, and Sky Foundry.
Don't be dumb. Who would pick Braxis Holdout in Epic Cup. Who will pick Braxis Holdout in launch? Let's be honest. Well, Sky Foundry is picked, so I will be able to just look outside the window and commentate the fights using that. Love it.
We have a map choice.
Indeed.
Yeah, true. Volskaya Foundry was banned before. This time we're gonna see Yarsom. I mean, Volskaya Foundry is a very interesting map to play on, especially recently we see it being a very long map very often.
And once again, a lot of teamfights on this particular map, so kind of playing into the hands of Tactical Suicide with their very AoE heavy engage combos.
Yeah. Really interested what we see here now on this second game. Which picks it will be.
Well, we do have a little bit of a profile picture change on the left side, if you noticed. We do have a lot of combat friends, 2 of those so far. But they are changing yet again.
All the time changing around! Guys!
That's a Butcher! That's a Butcher! That's a Chen and that's an Alexstrasza. You have to pick those now.
But what is this
Right?
from Griot? What is this from Griot? He's not even having a carbot emote. It's not even carbot what he's
What
using
an
there.
inter! And the Medivh. That sounds like a comms that will
Oh,
suffer,
there we go. There's
but
DTC
I will
in.
enjoy casting it.
ETC.
Okay, they got
Butcher,
the theming
Chen,
down,
Alexstrasza,
finally.
Medivh. ETC, Butcher, Chen, Alexstrasza, Medivh. Let's go.
That sounds like a combination that will win against me in a Storm League game, so...
Keep in mind, we're here at the Epic Cup, so we are not in Storm League.
That's a good point. Wait, that means that they might actually lose with this combination, what?
Let's see. Alright, everyone is in the lobby, so it looks like we are able to start soon, maybe.
Soon PM.
Are we gonna bet?
Well...
Betting will be there again, but not for team combo. For the draft.
First pick Butcher, oh we're right. Okay, I see how it is. Yeah, no. Oh, they're switching to Hammer now. Away from, I believe that was a...
Chen. Chen
Yeah,
is gone,
Chen.
and now we see the hammer there, so...
I think I like the idea of Chen more than I like the idea of Butcher. Sorry, more than I like the idea of Hammer.
But, can use Medivh Hammer and
Yeah,
just
no, I'm not
teleport-
casting an
teleport the-
Illidan.
Teleport the tank around the map. I mean, like, how broken is that?
Mr. Drago, I'm not casting an Illidan game again. Stop it. You know I will not do that.
Right.
The teams are obviously having some fun with that, which is quite nice. I like that happening.
We played
Does
Butcher
that
in the
mean that-
group stage, I think, in the meanwhile, Greer in the chat posting the draft insights of the team. Well,
We played Butcher in the group stage. Okay, I see how it is. Mixin meanwhile showing up the Lily as a portrait. So
it's also a potential
the
pick.
composition is just getting weirder and weirder.
Alright, we've got the ready for both teams. We are
And we got the
hopping
draft.
to the draft, yes.
Finally, to stop us from discussing the combat animations
Yes,
and
but
portraits
we have
and stuff.
betting set up against exclamation mark bet A if you think Tactical Suicide will close it out in a quick 2-0 and will leave us with a 2-2-0s so far for today. Or exclamation mark bet B if you think Antimeta will come back into this series and bring us towards the map number 3.
Well, Sky Foundry. A map with a lot of long fights. A map with a lot of fights with pickups. A map with a lot of pickups to pick up as well. So I'm expecting a lot of brawliness. A lot of AoE is quite important because you have to hold the objective. So might even see the Deathwing once again. He was not picked in this series, but he can come up huge.
Chromie is the first band coming out from Antimeta. We're really quite to see. Because it was Cat Foundry, Chrome just poke for days, has also good damage against protectors, so really good pickup here. Same goes for Greymane, even though he's not having the greatest damage, but he's very strong at taking those camps. And also has a ton of damage against the protector.
You know what's the best character on Volskaya Foundry is?
Who?
It has to be the Mei, because she's the only one ready for that cold weather.
True that. I mean, May herself is generally a very strong pick for the map because she has some great zoning tools with the Blizzard, with the Snowball, also with her Slider thingy. Also having great sustain.
Even
with
the Avalanche and the Ice Wall can be quite huge, but we do have Gazlo and Anna banned out, and Sylvanas on the first pick. Sylvanas, notably, does not care much because she is already dead.
Have you seen how much clothes she wears? Like, she's nearly naked. Mustn't this be really cold for her?
Yes, but she's at least the same temperature because she is a dead body. Now Lunara, on the other hand, has a lot of problems.
But yeah, we see the May being picked up as well together with the Lunara. Chat, meanwhile, talking about throwing in Malphael, which is also a potentially good pick here.
That's not just the chat talking about the Malphels, that's Banak talking about the Malphels. That's the most important part. We do have Mei and Lunara, which are the most picked heroes on the side of Tactical Suicide, so they got their most picked heroes. They are going for the comfort composition, and I'm actually quite interested to see how that will work out. Meanwhile, Liming and Johanna picked up on the right. Johanna can be very well suited to the cold weather because she is wearing a lot of armor.
Yeah, but
On
she
the
also
other
had
hand-
the robot skin, you know? She was a robot anyway, so she doesn't care about the cold weather. Li Ming was really...
You don't care what temperature you are if you are in the tank anyway, right?
Sure.
Which is why the Diva is banned.
It has to be the case. The Diva a great zoning tool in general, so a very, very strong pen coming out there from the side of Tactical Suicide. Especially with the bomb again, and we saw it earlier today already on Infernal Shrines. Just the bomb is such an amazing tool for zoning people.
Speaking about Heroes of Ice Age, we do have the Kel'Thuzad being our last and final ban. Kel'Thuzad, a hero that we don't see very often, but a hero that can be very annoying with all of his lockdown, and with all of the damage that he can provide, especially after he can stack, he actually has a lot of AoE.
Wait, Deathwing! Deathwing is a 100% winner so far today. He will be the pickup for a side of Tactical Suicide on the off lane. As we see Cassio also paired up with him. We have Lunara Cassio as damage dealers for the side of Tactical Suicide.
I like the idea of picking up the Deathwing and making sure that your opponents know a second definition of Frostburn alongside the Mei. It has been a combo that I have seen played a bunch of times in the last season, and I actually quite liked it a lot. So Mei plus Deathwing, have to be on the lookout for that because you have a lot of roots with the snowballs that you can achieve, and the Q build of Deathwing just tears apart through people if they just keep standing in one place, which Mei is very amazing at providing.
In the meantime, we have Right-Wing Varian as the two pickups from the side of Antimeta. I mean, it will be an offlane Varian. The question though is, will it be a Twin Blade or Smash Varian, or more of a tanky variation with a taunt? Right-Wing with the teleport may be able again to save her teammates very close, like we saw in the last game on the Tassadar. Or as the last pick for the side of Tactical Suicide.
Is an interesting pick because neither the Lunara nor the Cassia does strike me as people who do a lot of damage and can set up a lot of energy for the Oriole, but they really do in fact do a lot of damage. So a little bit of a sleeper pick, but a pick that can be very nice. I'm not quite sure if you can head the Deathwing, but if you can, that's even more perfect.
What with Deathwing? Sorry?
Not sure if you can head the Deathwing, But if he can provide a lot of damage as well, especially in those later stages of the game. But on the other hand, Oriel is feast or famine, so tactical suicides are very much banking on the fact that they will be able to get those team fights and
Oh, you
get
can
those
not
victories.
put the crown on Deathwing to the left with Tactical Suicide with Ibim's Bear on the Cassia Bronze Forever playing Lunara, mixing on the Oriel Career playing the May and White Red Gosh on the Deathwing.
The battle begins.
And on the other side, we have Shevla on Li Ming Zhah playing the Brightwing, the Epic E with Johanna Paralyzer on Sylvanas, and Safnocade bringing up the anti-meta invariant.
Let the battle begin.
In the meantime, what talents? So far, we see melee build this time coming out from Deathwing. So he's more looking into standing in the opponent and being annoying to them. Rather than staying behind and just throwing fire at them.
That's a Deathwing that we haven't seen today. That can actually be quite interesting as well. Notably, we do not see the auto attack talent from the Mei, or rather the talent with the auto attack icons thingy. We see the W talent, which is quite interesting to me. We also see the Q build from the variant, which probably means that there will not be a Twin Blades, whether we'll want it or not.
This level 1 talent on Varian is always weird for me, because when you go Twin Blade or... Wait a second, with Paralysis, takes quite a lot of damage to see stacking on the Sylvanas. It's always very weird, because when you go Twin Blade or Smash, you usually want to have the auto attack damage in. And if you go Taunt, you want to have the parry. So this talent for me is technically not really any big sorts of use, any big combinations with the ultimate at all. Because it doesn't give any sort of cooldown reduction or anything else towards the Q. With cooldown reduction, it would give you some synergy with the level 7 talent. This one just gives you a little bit of damage and a little bit of CC as well.
Remember how we were talking about the camps that have to go down as soon as they spawn? On Volska Foundry we have another bunch of those. The turret camps have to be taken down as quickly as possible, because the turrets make your next fight that you decide to take a little bit better, and you always want as many of them as possible on your players, I guess.
Camps are also already about to be taken by Antimeta. But this gives a little bit of space for the blue team as they are looking at the support camp now.
I think Safnocade actually saw them, but I'm not quite sure if they noticed them on the screens. And we do have the biotic emitter actually taken picked up by Gruyere, and that's all done and dusted. Wow.
Healing item
Not a lot of times you see
early on, healing item being going over towards the blue team.
we do have the Mercenary Queen by the Sylvanas on level 4, so those camps and those turrets will do a little bit more damage as well for the teamfights, for the objective. We do have the taunt coming out on beams, but Cassia stays alive for the time being, and the first objective is going to activate in 15 seconds, which will be quite interesting. It will be the point A, so a little bit far from home, but I'm pretty sure it will
Cassia
be
being
in
taunted again. Now she's pulling him off as well. Managed to dodge the orb from the Ming though, so she's getting out there. But I want to point out, on the side of CoB Antimeta, we have the early game rotation going on with Varian in the format as the tank, and Johanna being played as kind of the solo liner, just rotating around clearing minion waves.
I mean, Johanna can do a lot of wave clear with her W, especially considering that she picked up the upgrade for that on level 4, which... Ooh, that taunt was very big on Bronze Forever, but the counterplay is huge as well. The Johanna presses D, but it might not even be enough for her to get out. No, the Brightwing is here to save the day.
A lot of damage has been dealt again, and level 7 now goes over towards the side of Tactical Suicide a little bit earlier, but for much, as CoB Antimeta also takes level 7 themselves.
I like the idea of anti-meta for game number 2. You are up against the wall, so you pick up a composition that is A, aggressive, because you have a harder time playing second fiddle almost always, and B, is easy to execute, because tensions might run high and you might not be able to execute some of those more complicated setups. So instead you just go taunt, you taunt someone, and then you just put as much damage as possible into the taunted target. Very simple, very efficient, and very deadly it can be.
Talking about taunt, Deathwing is going in. Deathwing on the variant goes in, takes a lot of damage. Now Epic E on
And
the
the
China
Epic
walks
E is
in.
going in, he's actually gonna get body blocked by a lot of people. There's Unskin is popped, but nobody is looking to kill the Johanna because E-Beams is trying to run down Paralyzer and will succeed at that. Meanwhile, up top, Suffocate will get to safety. And that's
Talked
going
about
to be...
in the first series already with the Deathwing against such CC combos. With the Kerrigan, we just have it again. We have a full CC combo with Varian Liming blow up and the Polymorph on the side of Brightwing. And we have again the Deathwing against it, who just does not care at all. Especially on the side of CB Antimeta. We don't have any like of those damage dealers you want to see against the Deathwing, like a Malfoil, like a Leoric, Greymane for example, also a very good one. We don't have any of those. The Deathwing is having a lot of space. He's also using them. Just flew in and took the attention of everyone on the side of Antimeta towards his. And also the tons of damage in the meantime.
And you know what's the best part? It's not just the Deathwing, we also have the Mei who can stop those engages pretty much using the W alone, because after using the taunt, Varian is kind of a sitting duck, and you can just W right on top of him, force him to get rooted, and then just pull your damage into the Varian, making the engage of Antimeta, the engage for Technical Suicide as well.
So that is the
Right,
extent
the wall
of
has been
Protector's
taken down,
power.
top wall as well. Top fountain also very necessary to take down, because now when you go towards the next objective phase, you go to which is on the top side, your opponent is not able to retreat, tap the fountain and come back into the fight. They have to go further. They have to get back to the keep or something like that, because they don't have a fountain anymore. Now with
So yeah, the top...
Tenzin,
Sorry.
with level
So
10
the top 12 being not well is very not well for the team on the right, but it is very well for the team on the left, who also take down the well in the mid lane, which will also be important, but will come up even later into the game. Usually the fourth protector is where people get to before the game ends, but let's see what this teamfight will bring to us. Another engage from Suffocate right on top of the Deathwing, who does not care in the slightest. We do have the parry, the level 10 parry coming out, the blink, the mount on top of Suffocate and the blink heal to get Jah away as well. The taunt comes out on the Mei, and the Mei will receive a lot of damage, but here comes the Crystal Aegis and the Ice Block to keep Gruyere alive. Lunara jumping around Traveler, doing a lot of damage. The Ice Wall connects, and we do have the Snowball to try and get Suffocate, but the Medallion is pressed. And that's going to be a 5-minute cooldown, so that's quite important.
Come on, ultimate. We have everything used on the left side in blue. Ultimate left for tactical suicide, but they also bought themselves some space, and with this space they are going and take again the healing item. It now goes over towards the hands
And
of Cassia.
the amount of stuff the Tactical Suicide are able to get without even getting kills, the only kills that we saw this game was the one kill on the Sylvanas before the first robot got taken. The amount of stuff the Tactical Suicide are just able to kill through pressure is very, very astonishing. That's a lot of things that you are able to do, and a lot of things that you are denied your opponent as well. And that might be just one of them, but no, Suffocate is here to anchor, and Paralyzer takes the camp.
Sylvanas with the Mercenary Queen really being able to just go and take those turrets on her own. She's not the fastest at doing so, but it's okay. Speed. She is about to be taken on the side of Tactical Suicide, giving them a little bit of pressure on the top side. Giving them the priority on the lane so they can step up further.
And the next point is going to be point B, which I'm very deeply saddened by the decision of the red team to just move away from it, move down. Meanwhile, the blue side are... no, they not quite looking for a fight, but neither team is trying to rush B per se, which saddens my heart deeply. I can almost see this one from my window, which is quite nice. Gruyere sitting on top of the objective, keeping it for himself, and gain some early percentage.
Percentage going over towards Tactical Suicide as Antimeta, not having level 13 yet, so they decide to just fall back, give it a little bit over towards the opponent team.
And we have to remember that level 16 is the one that Tactical Suicide are playing for, where we get the big power spikes for the Cassia, for the Deathwing, for the Lunara as well, and that will be a huge point at which they can pretty much take the fights and win the fights without any attempts of Zhag trying to interrupt them from killing people. But on the other hand, it also takes a bunch of time to get there, so far, however, Antimeta not looking quite eager to engage, even though they are on equal talent tiers, and that might be the last fight that they will actually be able to force
Sword
and
coming
get.
out.
Falling Sword, however, the taunt as well, the Crystal E just right on top of the Lunara, as Bronze Forever leaps out of the danger. Drake receives a bunch of damage, loses one of the plate, but the second one stays on, and the engage attempt was finally here, but it was a little bit unsuccessful.
One is using a crate to disable the point. Oh,
However,
definitely
the
going
taunt
in.
is back up, and you can try to look for something. Deathwing jumping right on top of the point. We do see Gruyere on the point as well, and the red team is forced away once again. Everyone's falling low. Zhag is going to die, and without the Brightwing to heal anyone, the red team is just forced to drop the matter and go. Ooh, that was a nasty interrupt. And go even further back, allowing the robot for the team in blue.
Blue team now also taking the support camp now. Giving them again the healing item for the next fight. I wanna point out on the side of Deathwing, we don't see the full melee build coming in. We see a little bit of a hybrid build coming in with Wicked Inferno, reducing the energy cost of his Q, which might lead into him going Conviction.
Ooh, Shevla sitting over the wall, trying to look for a blow, but unfortunately the orbs will miss, and yeah, was a good idea, but unfortunately did not quite get the execution quite enough. But you can still try to engage through the robot, because don't forget that the two people have to go in the robot to make sure that it operates at perfect efficiency. And one of them is a healer, so you can just engage past it, try to blow up Bronze Forever, try to blow up Gruyere, and if you are lucky enough, you will be able to get those team fights. But level 16 already up for Tactical Suicide, and that means those big WoW spikes.
Just pushing down the bottom. They're looking at the fountain. They got the fountain in the bottom lane now as well. And here the same applies as for the top fountain. Just take it down to your opponent. Cannot fall back. Tap the fountain and re-engage.
Ooh, the engage. The Falling Sword is here from the Epic E, but the robot is killed already, and that means that all 5 persons on the side of Tactical Suicide are able to fight. Zhag drops down on the Epic E, and a lot of damage is done by this little Q from Drake, and the push is just going to continue because Drake eviscerates the waves with his level 16 Q talent, and you can just continue applying pressure or go to the third camp and take that down instead.
It's very interesting to see Antimeta looking for an engage there, but it looks like they got the taunt onto Cassie. He is dealing and she's gonna drop it, and she does a lot of damage, dropping very low. About to fall, go down.
But the engage is there under the fort as well. Paralyzer losing a lot of HP. Safnocade meanwhile trying to fight against E-beams, and Deathwing dies in one part of the fight, traded by Zavarian in the other. Paralyzer has to go back. Shevla not having any HP at all, but once again healed by Zhag. And the game continues on. The game is very close between those two teams.
I was thinking that was very risky from the side of Antimeta doing before without level 16. And now again, they're jumping into their opponent's team without level 16 themselves. And now they even managed to get a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Well done by Antimeta. Get this kill in. And engaging in such a risky situation while being a talent tier down.
And they are behind, so every little thing helps. The catch-up experience is actually on their side, so if they continue trading equally, they will proceed to close that gap in experience. However, so far, you have to find those fights, you have to find those trades, and not looking too great, Chief. I don't think there are many trades that you can find that will be good. On the other side, Tactical Suicide are very fine. You just sit around, you wait for the next objective, you kept the next objective without much trouble, you maybe even try to fish for 20 before that, so you can be unstoppable, but you should be fine. You should be very fine. It's really on the side of Antimeta to try and force a difference.
Now, top camp about to be defended from the side of Antimeta, but healing camp is up again. No.
Ooh, the ice wall, cheeky, but no.
Oh, definitely
Let's
going in.
see. Deathwing dropping. We do have the parry from the variant. I heard the ball lightning and it will connect with the Johanna who proceeds to fall down. Liming actually killed by the Cassia as well, and that might be the breakthrough the tactical suicide needed. Which I don't think they even needed one, but it will be a breakthrough that they will take, for sure.
Definitely, especially now they have time again to take up the healing item, which they love so much on this map today. I take it for the 4th time, I believe it is.
Can I just point out that this May is at least 2 floors high? Anyway, we do have 18% and rising up for the blue team. And yeah, the game continues on. We do see the steal of the turret as well. Just denying the resource, taking the resources, and now you even have the level 20 to make sure that you can just go in and not care about anything that can be thrown in your general direction. We do have the endless ball lightning. We do have the big damage power spike for the Lunara, and if someone gets caught by the ice wall, May can make sure that they will die right afterwards. But the engagement May is actually quite huge. The ice block is just enough to save Dreyer, however, and all of those pickups are coming in big. Safnokate receives a lot of damage. Jach gonna get leaped over by Bronze Forever and gonna get leaped over once again to just secure the kill. Shevla being the next death, and without the Brightwing alive, the red side will melt to the Lunara and the Deathwing and all of the other dot damage that they have. Dot damage does not sound right, anyway.
Team now with those 2 kills starting to push down the bottom lane. Meanwhile, they also have 80% on the point already. Definitely is now going back, taking the point for a little bit. Helping to protect and bring it to his team. FPG stepping up a little bit down here, but has the Iron Skin to make sure he's getting into safety.
And well, with that robot, you can pretty much go and take down the keep. You can pretty much go and take down the core if the keep is down already. And I don't think that Antimeta can try to counteract with anything. Safnokate is trying to take down the siege camp, which will give a little bit of experience, which will give a little bit of a push up top. But it doesn't matter much if you're losing the game.
You definitely have to be really careful now. On the core, they're going for an engage. Falling sword onto Auriel. Auriel goes down immediately. There's the ice wall coming in onto 5 people. A lot of AoE damage is coming in. Sash goes down. Sash to blow, Paralyze to blow. Jaina falls, and Ming does so as well. Okay, on the variant dropping really low.
And that was what I was talking about throughout the entire game. You can engage against the teams that have the robot. That means that they have to go out of the robot before they can fight very well. And they even find the pickup on the Auriel. Unfortunately, great 4-man wall from Gruyere just rotates back around and slaps Antimeta across the face and out of the competition.
It is GG as game number 2 goes over towards tactical suicide.
And well, Antimeta goes out. Very unfortunate. They were getting some very nice ideas through, but in the end, it is not enough, and they get a 2-0 loss. Better luck next time.
Definitely well done there by the side of tactical suicide, the 2-0 victory against CB Antimeta. Looking at the break in the meantime, I don't know how Unleashed against All Blacks is, so this is just a 0-0 sending it, but so far we've got 2-0 between Quackamo against German Efficiency. This means Quackamo goes into the semi-final. They will face up against Sardinis in a can, as Sardinis in a can won against Luck Strikes again. 2-0. This is gonna be the very first semi-final coming in now here on this channel.
And it's actually gonna be casted by Luca and Brightwing. After casting their Cup finals yesterday, they have decided that I was the weakest link and just kicked me out. And went on to try and cast the semifinals all by themselves. So best of luck to those guys.
Right. Thank you, Josh,
Thank you
for
and
joining. I
thank-
will also be away now, so, but I will be in the background running the production, so don't have to miss me too much.
And thank
Great
every
casting
one
with
of you
you.
for watching. Please continue doing that. Also, this is an ad break now, so this Heroes Launch season is brought to you by Nexus Rumble. What is Nexus Rumble? Well, I am very happy to answer. Nexus Rumble is possibly the most exciting and innovative Heroes of the Storm series. It starts at 1930 CET most Sundays and is a winner stays on style mini tournament. But because of the draw show, the cups, and all of the other things, this week it's Sunday, December the 13th at 1930 CET. Tell all your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your friends' moms, sisters, nephews' friend, because the most exciting games are always in the Nexus Rumble, unless they are the Rare Cup, unless they are the Epic Cup. I think that's how it works nowadays. So,
Thank you,
and
Josh.
yeah,
for
have fun out there. Do be
casting.
mandatory.
Keep in mind to check out next weekend, Saturday Legendary Cup, best teams of Division 2 and 3, and Sunday the Mythic Championship with the best teams of Division 1. And the week after, on the 13th of December, the Sunday, it will be the off-season playoffs, also starting at 13 Central European time, so make sure you check those out as well. And thank you everybody for watching, and hope to see you on in the stream a little bit later when we are back with Luca and Brightwing, bringing to you the first semi-final of this Epic Cup. Bye!
Hey yo.